Today is April 27, 2026. Around 4 p.m. I was walking by here and I started having so much pain. I was going to the library. I had to stop here, sit down. The camera was recording. Then the pain got so unbearable, I decided to leave my bag here, right here. I'm going to sit there. And when I came back almost an hour later, this guy was stuck here. So in Nigeria, there's voodoo. And I don't know what is going on. I'm a Nigerian. All kinds of weird accidents coming up around me. Yesterday also, as I was recording, a black American woman came and stood near me at the D train, at the Q train pickup. You know, it's all kind of accidents, all kinds of weird stuff happening around me. You know, and this guy's been stuck here. I thought it was a joke when I came back from my bag. So I'm in Nigeria, there's all kinds of voodoo in Nigeria. And people are having accidents around me in America. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me, sir. Hello, I noticed you've been stuck for a while. What happened?
Not a problem.
Hey, how long now? I'm sorry? How long? 2 hours? Yeah. I noticed the same thing. I'm a Nigerian. As soon as I got to this spot, I don't want to claim you're bewitched. As soon as I got to this spot, I started having pain. Did you notice my bag over here when you got here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I had to leave my bag. You're a state senator?
I was, yeah.
There you are. I'm in Nigeria. The police took my home, and I've been stuck on the street for
Not- we didn't tell this guy.
Oh, okay. I've been stuck on the street for 16 years. That's your name? Yeah. Oh, I don't want to cause any more accidents. You know. So this is what is going on. It says state center could be lying. So that's like a voodoo charm going on. Whereby accidents are happening around me. I don't know what is going on. People, my mother said, me and her were suing to get money. My daughter's killed her. You know, drugged her and killed her. She has another daughter in Nigeria that said, I'm going to kill her again. My daughter's here in America, I'm going to kill her again. And they drugged her, on her for her and killed her. So there's like a religious culture, you know, so they're going to kill me and claim that I'm part of a religious cult. And I told them, I've already, and I authorized them to kill me and take my money and take my sperm. I'm not part of any religious cult. So I normally charge my phone over here in front of the library. And they went and put a metal pipe inside the, so there's all kinds of voodoo. I'm a Nigerian. I'm worth a lot of money. I had an accident here, and this caused an accident here. So people are trying to kill me and steal the money. So they're surrounding me with all kind of voodoo charm. There's no, the guy said he's been stuck here for 2 hours. So there's all kinds of voodoo charm I'm experiencing. I'm a Nigerian. People are trying to kill me, take my money, and what other money? Because the immigration arrested me wrongfully. And I was going to get passed by here. All of a sudden, I started having this pain. Unbearable pain. I couldn't move any further. And look, this guy also, he got stuck. Around the time I started having the pain, he also parked his car. His car got stuck. So there's like a voodoo cult from Nigeria, attacking me here in America. There's no way I could be lying. And they're causing accidents around me. There's like a voodoo. I'm worth a lot of money because the immigration arrested me as a child. And I was suing, and a black American helping me, Eric Garner, was killed by the police. So it's like a voodoo cult. I heard some of the police are also into voodoo here in America. They worship Satan, and they were putting all kinds of signs in my storage. Before they killed Eric Garner, they would put signs like bow down to Satan, Lucifer is king, and I'll take the pictures of it on my Google Drive. American storage, and down the street I want to kill Eric Garner. So there's like a voodoo cult. I can't name specifically. So I'm a Nigerian. Since I started suing the NYPD, all kinds of accidents. As I was coming to the library, I was expressing pain, so I stood over there. A New York State senator also, his car broke down. So they're sending bad luck charm. Nigeria is a kind of voodoo you can send to kill somebody to steal their property. So in between the NYPD, I heard some of them are Satanists. One of the NYPD, the guys that was, he is a carnivore, and he posted online that he wants to kill his wife and use that for carnival ritual. And one guy responded, and they arrested the guy for, you know, the guy that responded was also an NYPD undercover. And so they arrested this NYPD guy, but the court freedom said you can post fetishes online, that it's not a crime if he was just posting online, that the government entrapped them by providing somebody telling him that it was going to help him carry out the assassination. You know, so normally I charge my phone over here, you know, and they went and stuck this metal pipes here to block me from charging my phone here anymore, you know. And when I go to around J Street and Fulton to charge my phone, and the WAPC was saying this month is autistic month. You know, we kept repeating, I'm under the FBI surveillance because I used to have an immigration case. You know, so, you know, there's like a cult of human traffickers. So they're trying to force me to go and charge my phone near Long Island University. My father went to Long Island University, is now killed dead. My mother went to Long Island University, she's now killed dead. I also went to Long Island University, you know. So they're trying. So I really don't like going to that Long Island University. It reminds me of my dead father, my dead mother, you know. So they're trying to lure me to go keep charging my phone there. And there's an American gang said they're going to kill me and they're going to lie in court. That I'm part of a satanic cult or whatever religious cult, a cult, a Christian cult. And I signed to die, and that, you know, that I'm going to be resurrected by taking my sperm. And, you know, so there's a cult, you know, like a voodoo cult here in America. And since the police took my home, you know, every gunner helping me with my court papers, the police kill him dead. My mother's been killed, my father's been killed, you know. So I'm, you know, and they always harass me. I always try to charge my phone at J Street and Fulton. I don't want to go to DeKalb Avenue to charge my phone. There's a phone charger near Long Island University at Flatbush Avenue Extension, I believe Flatbush Avenue Extension and Fulton. But it's too close to Long Island University, and I just don't want to be near Long Island University. It reminds me of my dead father. I used to go to school there. My dead mother used to go to school, and I used to go to school there. You know. So when they see me that I'm not charging my phone near that Long Island University, they send Black American gangs to try to beat me up. And people are telling me they're going to lock me up in the mental ward and claim I'm the one fighting these Black Americans. You know. So there's human trafficking here in America. There's Nigerian gangs co-joining with American gangs and trying to kill people for money. So this is what is going on. It's like a voodoo cult. And you send them voodoo charm. You know, where I put my bag down the street, you know, I started having extreme pain in my teeth. You know, and I couldn't walk no more. So I abandoned my chair, my bags over there, went and found a chair near the library. And this New York senator, his car also got stuck. You know, near me. And he said he doesn't understand why his car is stuck. Yesterday, as I was talking, also a woman fell near me. I almost staggered and fell. You know, so this like there's like a voodoo cult. You know, it's kind of hard to explain. I don't really understand it either. But you know, but sometimes they send people to grab me physically. There's this Nigerian lawyer. I used to talk to him, you know, some years back, around 2004. When I told him I have an immigration case, I'm going to be deported. He's based in Canada, and he told me no, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. That he doesn't really, even though he's Nigerian, he says he's more attracted to Black Americans and Canadians, you know. And all of a sudden, when I got my green card in 2008, the Daily News announced it, because I wrote something to Daily News that I finally got my green card, but the immigration is withholding my passport. So I told the Daily News not to publish my name. I want to be private for privacy reasons, but they published my name. So this Nigerian lawyer in Canada I used to talk to saw that I now have a green card. That's when he contacted me back that he wants to be friends again. You know, so this New York State Center has been stuck here, you know, and it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. You could get hit by a car. You know, I also had an accident here. So this is Cadman Plaza, and what's the cross street, and Pier Point. You know, Cadman Plaza and Pier Point. You know, so it's like a religious cult from Nigeria. What a lot of money because immigration arrested me in America, and my mother told me to be very careful. Their daughters are involved in all kinds of demonic activities. I didn't even take her serious until my mother died. She said, she suspended her daughters are involved in all kinds of demonic activities. So one of her daughters, Flora, takes a bath with black soap. Say in Nigeria, black soap is used for voodoo. I say all of a sudden that Flora started taking a bath with black soap. Say only voodoo worshippers, use that black soap. I didn't take my mother serious until my mother got killed. So I'm from Nigeria. I'm worth a lot of money because the U.S. immigration arrested me as a child, and my mother's daughters killed her so that they can steal money from my mother. So all kinds of satanic stuff is happening around me. As I was going to the library, I felt some kind of sharp pain, and I left my bag here, and I went to sit down. When I came back, this guy is stuck here. Yesterday also, as I was recording, a black American lady fell down near me in the staircase. I almost fell down also. So they say in Nigeria they use voodoo to try to kill people. They release an angel of death. And look at this senator, is stuck. Cars could hit him. And I'm experiencing anywhere I go, accident is happening. So it's like a voodoo attack from Nigeria. My mother's been killed, my father's been killed. So they say in Nigeria they practice cause some kind of voodoo. And this is paranormal. This is paranormal stuff. I know, it's hard to believe. This is a New York State senator, and he's stuck, he's risking his life, so this is what is happening, stuck on the street, So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. I want to be safe. I want to hide in a hotel room. Even before all this started happening, an American pastor from Texas, I forgot his name. He's not dead. He sent me a prayer prophecy around 2010. He told me he's from Texas. He's a prophet in America. He said God told him to tell me to lock the door. Don't open the door to anybody. So if I open the door, it's going to bring all kinds of evil. And the police came and broke my door open in 2010 and kicked me and my mother out. And since then, all kinds of evil have been happening. So there was a prophecy from an American prophet. Oh, he's not dead. He's actually alive. His name is Popov. The other one that died is in Texas. But this prophet is a German American. His name is Peter Popov. He sent. I used to send like $1 every month, and he used to send me a prophecy. So in 2010, Peter Popov is still alive. Sent me a letter. Said God said I should close the door. Don't open the door to anybody. That if I allow anybody in my house, it's going to lead to all kinds of evil, all kinds of demonic attack. And the beauty department forcefully came into my home and brought the police to kick my mother out. Since then, I've been homeless on the street for 16 years. All kinds of evils happening around me. I was going to the library and I felt I have a toothache, and I abandoned my bag. The pain was so bad, I went to sit down near the library on a chair, and when I came back, this man, his car got stuck. And the cars could hit him. He could easily get killed. It's a New York State senator. I'm so sorry, sir. I just want to take evidence. His name is Senator Emeritus, if I pronounce it correctly. So it is like a voodoo spell. I'm going to send this to the American prophet, Peter Popov. In 2010, I'm from Nigeria, I'm here in New York City. In 2010, you sent me a mail. I always send you money, Peter Popov. And you're German American prophet. You were born in Germany, but you migrated here as a child. And you sent me a letter in the mail that God told you that to tell me to lock the door. That I should open the door to anybody. That if I open the door, if anybody comes into my house, it's going to lead to all kinds of evil attacks. And my mother, the beauty department, forced my mother to open the door, and they kicked my mother out. Since 2010, I've been out here on the street. Even when I went to rent an apartment, they set the apartment on fire. In 2014, I'm back on the street. And the city of New York refused to give me housing. This is why I'm trying to talk to this man. I'm being abused in America. The police took my home, drove me out of a basement apartment without a court order. Then I went to rent another apartment. There was a fire, and the city of New York refused to put me in a shelter. So I've been stuck on the street. I almost died on February 22. There was a snowstorm. 20 people died. I went to apply for shelter. They told me no. You know, so I've been stuck here. So Mr. Prophet Peter Popoff, if you can donate money to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, I can rent a hotel. You know, you gave me that. You're my witness. I've never met you in person. Prophet Peter Popoff. In 2010, you sent me a letter that you lock the door. That if anybody comes into my apartment, it's going to cause an evil attack, and just going to lead to more evil. And anywhere I go, bad things is happening. You know, I left my bags here because as soon as I got here, I normally go to the bathroom, go to the library to use the bathroom. Because if I have diarrhea, I've been homeless 16 years. The police said they're going to kill me in the bathroom. People are telling me I should be careful. The police is going to frame me up as doing drugs to kill me, to retaliate for suing them. In the past, when they took my home, I sued them. The case number is 13-CV5052, and they immediately killed a black American with the court papers, Eric Garner. And right now, anytime I use the bathroom, the police will come and arrest me. You know, this is why I'm trying to talk to the state senator, but he doesn't want to talk to me. But it's okay. You know, and the police are trying to kill me in the bathroom. So, Prophet Peter Popoff, you are my only witness alive now. You send me a letter. My name is Babatunde Olabopo. You send me a letter. I will spell my name in the video I sent to you. You know, you send me my name is spelled Babatunde. That's the first name. Last name Olabopo. Around 2010, you sent me a letter saying I should lock the door. If I open the door to anybody to come in, they're going to bring so much evil. And that evil will just continue and continue. And this is what I'm reduced to. Carrying my bags around. Being harassed in the bathroom, being harassed everywhere. You know, and there's like a demonic gang. They're trying to, anywhere I charge my phone, they will harass me, destroy the phone charger. So they're trying to lure me to go and charge my phone near Long Island University. My father used to graduate from Long Island University. He's been killed. My mother also went to Long Island University. She's been killed. I went to Long Island University also. I didn't graduate. You know, so I don't like going to that area. So there's an American gang. They always harass me, and they're trying to force me to go there. And they said they're going to kill me. I'm going to claim I'm part of a cult, and we communicate with the dead. And they said they're going to kill me, and they're going to take my sperm and produce children for me and inherit my estate. So I'm not part of any cult, whether American cult or whatever. I'm a Christian, but I'm not part of any Christian cult. So please, Mr. Peter Popoff, Prophet Peter Popoff, please donate money to my Cash App and my service. I want to rent a hotel. So like your prophet said, I should close the door and shouldn't come let anybody in my living space. So I want to go rent a hotel room and be there while I go to court. Also, my mother's been killed. Her daughter's killed her in 2015, and my mother says she doesn't want to be buried in America, you know, and her daughters want to bury her in New Jersey. And she said if she cannot be buried in Nigeria, she should be buried in New York. So they put our daughters, when I told them that, they went and grabbed her corpse and buried her in New Jersey to taunt her even in death. So those daughters hate her. They were born in America, but she took them to Nigeria in 1988, and they hate her because of that. They said, you know, and they used to beat her up, and she had them come back to America in 1989. And when the gay came into America, they were living with a white family in Pennsylvania. They beat up the white family. So they have a troubled past. And my mother said they couldn't forgive her. They said the 1 year they spent in Nigeria ruined their life. They said when they came back with a Nigerian accent. And people in school in America were making fun of them. And they said that ruined their life. And they finally killed my mother in revenge. And, you know, so I've been stuck on the street. My mother was the one that was taking care of me. Because I used to have an immigration case. She spent $30,000 to get me a green card. And since she died, the police arrested me, locked me up in a mental home, and took that green card from me. So the police have been revenging because I sued them in 2013 for taking my home. And they always arrest me, and nobody wants to help me. You know, so I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws and under relevant laws that what I'm saying is true to the best of my knowledge and to what I remember. And in fact, so I swear under perjury laws of the United States law. I swear under perjury laws of the United States under relevant laws. And also that I'm single, I'm married without a child or children. I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for membership in any cult or gang, whether social, religious, or sexual. And also, in case I die or I'm killed, Only civil activists like me that have not denied me in the past should administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother, and donate the rest of my estate out in charitable financial donation to those suffering xenophobia like me and my late mother, and those being deported by church partners for assistance. No family member or friend should administer my estate and enter for my estate. If I'm rendered disabled, no family member or friend should take guardianship over me. The court should appoint an independent guardian, someone that has no connection with me, and civil activists like me that have not denied me in the past should monitor me to make sure I'm not extorted for any asset I have, potential asset. I'm worth a lot of money potentially due to immigration arresting me, and I'm trying to file a lawsuit against the U.S. immigration. Also, I'm not going to be saving any other country. I would like to remain here in America, even if I'm disabled, because, even though I have family in England, Canada, and Nigeria, and some other places, but my mother reached out to all these family members when she was alive to help us, me and my mother, but they refused to help us. So my mother said, I should forget about those family members, and I should focus on seeking assistance from strangers. And also, the U.S. is part of NATO, and the U.S. government's not helping me either. My mother reached out to the Obama administration, Justice Department, to help us after the police took our home wrongfully in 2010, and they refused to help us. So they are also trying to cover up for the NYPD. So I'm not going to be saving another country, because these gangs trying to kill me in America could kill me in another country, and those countries could cover it up for the American government and let the American gang get the money and the Nigerian gang get the money. And also, people used to tell me I look like Michael Jackson when I was younger. I no longer look like him, and I don't want to be associated with him. I used to write songs when I was in Nigeria, sent to Michael Jackson, but the United States Postal Service used to send me back the song, tell me Michael Jackson had moved to Neverland Ranch and it doesn't allow mail forwarding, and I sent it to his old address. So I think some people have went and read in my apartment and took those old songs I wrote for Michael Jackson. And people have been telling me that I'm going to be killed and they're going to release those songs and lie that I came to America to become Michael Jackson and try to, do a movie about me and sell my songs. They said, whenever there's tragedy associated with art, it always sells. They said for Michael Jackson wasn't selling records anymore because of child molestation charges until he got killed and his record sale shoot up the roof. So I don't want nobody to make a movie about me unless I'm alive and well to participate in the movie. I don't want to be associated with Michael Jackson in any way or form. And also, like I told the U.S. immigration when I arrested him in 2000, when they asked me if I had witnesses for my case, and I told them no, I don't really talk to people about my personal life. And that's because I'm introverted, and I said I don't talk to family or friends about my personal life either. And that's very true. My immigration file number is 7795462. Even right now, the only time I talk about my life is when I'm under duress like this on social. I talk about my life on social media. I don't talk about everything, just a little bit. So nobody, whether family or friend, will be able to accurately depict me in any movie or film. And I'm very guarded about my image. So unless I'm alive and want to participate in any movie or media project, nobody should make a movie about me or any media project. I'm very guarded about my life. I'm very introverted. And I don't trust anyone to accurately depict me. And also, please donate to my Cash App, non-conditional charitable financial donation to my Cash App, NYC Homeland, or student loan. If it's a student loan, the interest rate should be similar to what the U.S. government charges student or what commercial bank charges student. Whatever it is, I don't want price gouge. You can donate it to my Cash App, and or to me in person. I do take donations in person. I beg for money everywhere I go. I'm having that today again. I'm having holes in my teeth. So I can't reach out for long. But please donate, and please stop and desist. Please donate to my Cash App, and please stop and desist to everyone. Please stop and desist from trying to force me to engage in things I'm not into. I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm not looking for membership in any cult or gang, whether social, sexual, religious. I'm not looking for master or slave relationship. And also, I'm not suicidal. In case I die, somebody must have killed me. Or, I heard they can choke you. I heard there was a girl from Bangladesh. Her parents brought her here. And the parents said people were making fun of her in school. And one day, was on the 7 train. And the police said she jumped through the emergency door into the train track. And her parents were like, they don't believe it. They believe she was pushed. So I always sit near the emergency door, and people have been threatening they're going to push me into the train track and hurt my money. So I'm not suicidal. I have a lot of evidence. I want to take to court. I'm in no way depressed, but they deny me access to the bathroom, try to leave me in sordid condition to enable people to be able to steal my money and kill me and claim I'm depressed. The police will arrest me, lock me up in the mental home, lock me up in the hospital wrongfully. And they said the new thing they're going to do is to enable my mother's daughters steal money from me. They're going to lock me up in a mental home and claim I'm mentally retarded. That I'm no way near mentally retarded. I finished high school in Nigeria at 15, and it was because of my immigration case. That's why I've not been able to finish college. I'm now 44 years old. The reason why I'm trying to become a woman, I always wear my mask to cover up my mustache and stuff and my beard. Yeah, I don't have access to bathrooms to take a shower, so I can't even shave. I have very sensitive skin. Like, I have to be very careful when shaving, otherwise I'll end up with bruises and blood. My skin is very sensitive, so I have to shave in a very clean environment, otherwise I'll end up with rashes and bruises. So that's why I don't shave. I always shave when I'm about to take a shower. My skin is very sensitive. If I try to shave without taking a shower right afterwards, I will end up with rashes, bruises, So this is why, I appear like this. It's not because I'm crazy, it's just because I can't shave just anywhere. Yeah, and they don't even let me have access to any bathroom. And I use the women's bathroom, so I always keep my face covered so that, so they don't misgender me. I'm not trying to become a woman. I was born a boy. So this one's going on. So this guy's still stuck here. I don't know. So it's like an evil, it's like paranormal activities going on around me. It's weird. But I know in Nigeria they use evil charm to try to kill people. And people falling down around me, having car accident around me, all kinds of weird stuff. Also, sometimes I'll fall down also. I'm having toothache, so bad, and I'm afraid of going to the hospital because, on that Bloomberg, they said, he told Mayor Bloomberg, he was a Jewish American mayor, I'm not trying to. He told the hospitals in New York City to be locking up homeless in the psychiatric ward anytime they come to the hospital for any medical treatment. I'm framed us up as crazy, So I'm having toothache. It's so terrible. But my mother was framed up as crazy as my daughters when my mother went to the hospital to treat her disease. So I'm afraid of going to the hospital. So I'd rather go to a hotel room, and try to get on WebMD and possibly hire a lawyer, before going to the hospital. I'm having like toothache. So please, Prophet Popov the medical system in America is so corrupt. Even my mother said as a child, she used to dream and see herself in Nigeria. While she was a baby in Nigeria, she used to dream see herself in America, and she was working in a medical facility and she was helping them fix everything. And she died framed up as crazy. So before I go to the hospital in America to treat my toothache, I want to hire a lawyer to be ready in case they try to kidnap me in the hospital and lock me up in the mental ward just to treat my toothache. They're misdiagnosing people as crazy and killing them like they did that to my mother. And they did that to me, so Prophet Peter Popov, please donate to me, non-conditional charitable donation. I'm really trying to go to the hospital, but I want to hire a lawyer, and in case they try to kidnap me in the hospital, and misdiagnose me as crazy while treating my tooth infection, or whatever way I can treat my tooth infection without going to the hospital. I can't brush my teeth for almost 16 years, and it's causing me so much toothache cavities. I also fell down near City Park. They left water there, and I was walking. I fell down, even though it stopped raining last year for many hours, but it didn't sweep the water. At Broadway and Chambers, the police camera recorded everything, and I landed on my teeth. As is that I have been having so much pain. And the pain comes on and off anytime I eat. And as I was passing by today is April 27, 2026. The cameras will pick it up. This is Pierpoint Street and Cadma Plaza. There's the Brooklyn Supreme Court, and and the pain hit me, and I went and staggered and sat over there, and I didn't want to bust my head, so I went further down 2 blocks to where they have a chair where you can lay your back down. And I was staggering in pain, and some people were even standing near me laughing. I guess they thought I was just joking, and the pain is back again, So I'm really suffering, but the medical system here in New York City is messed up. There's a lot of Medicaid fraud. There's even in California, the feds are suing They're applying for Medicaid for people that don't really need it, and applying the hospitals charging people Medicaid insurance for people that don't even need such medical treatment. So this is what is going on. You know, I'm having pain again. Ooh, I'm having pain again. And I heard toothache can lead to heart disease and kill a person. And this sentence is stuck also. You know, so I would like to end my recording here. So please donate non-conditional charitable financial donations to my cash app and YC Homeless. Thank you.